A wealthy businessman once asked an old Christian farmer a question. "What is the secret to prosperity?" The farmer smiled. "Which kind?" The businessman looked confused. "Isn't wealth just wealth?" "No," the farmer replied. "Some people become rich and lose everything. Others build something their children are still benefiting from decades later." Then the farmer lifted 5 fingers. "If you want wealth that lasts, learn these 5 habits." That conversation would completely change the businessman's life. And before this story ends, I'm going to reveal all 5. Because whether you're building a business, working a job, paying off debt, or starting again financially, these 5 biblical habits could change how you handle money forever. His name was Daniel Whitmore. At 42, Daniel owned a successful building company in London. From the outside, he looked wealthy. Luxury car, beautiful home, expensive holidays. But behind the appearance was a frightening reality. Daniel earned plenty, but kept very little. Every increase in income produced an increase in spending. Then, a major contract collapsed. Within months, Daniel was struggling to meet his obligations. One weekend, he traveled to visit his uncle Samuel in the Cotswolds. Samuel wasn't flashy. He lived simply, owned farmland and several properties, and had quietly built financial security over 40 years. Daniel finally asked him, "Uncle, how did you do it?" Samuel smiled. "I stopped chasing money and started practicing principles." Then he lifted one finger. The first habit is wisdom before wealth. Proverbs 4-7 says, "Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom." Samuel explained, "When I was young, I wanted money quickly. Then I realized money without wisdom disappears." Daniel thought about his own life. He had accepted contracts he barely understood, bought things to impress people, invested because friends told him something was profitable. Samuel continued, "Before asking, 'How much can I make?' learn to ask, 'Do I understand what I'm doing?'" That became Daniel's first change. He began studying his finances. He learned how his company actually made profit. He sought advice before major investments. He stopped making financial decisions simply because everyone else was doing it. Slowly, the leaks began closing. Remember habit number 1. Seek wisdom before wealth. Because money can enter your hands quickly, but only wisdom teaches you what to do with it. Samuel raised a second finger. The second habit is faithful stewardship. Jesus said in Luke 16:10, "Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much." Samuel took Daniel into an old farm office. Inside were decades of carefully organized records. Daniel laughed. "You kept all this?" "Of course," Samuel smiled. "If I don't respect what God has already placed in my hands, why should I expect more?" That sentence hit Daniel deeply. He realized he couldn't accurately explain where thousands of pounds had gone the previous year. So, he changed. He created a proper budget, separated business and personal money, reduced unnecessary spending, built an emergency reserve, paid obligations on time. The transformation wasn't dramatic at first, but 6 months later, Daniel had something he hadn't experienced in years: control. Habit number 2, manage faithfully what is already in your hands. Don't wait until you earn more before becoming a good steward. Prosperity doesn't begin with abundance. It begins with faithfulness. Then, Samuel raised a third finger. The third habit is diligence. Proverbs 10-4 says, "Diligent hands bring wealth." Samuel pointed towards his fields. "Those fields don't care how strongly I desire a harvest. If I don't plant, there will be nothing to harvest." Daniel understood immediately. For years, he had prayed for bigger opportunities while becoming comfortable with the business he already had, so he started working differently. He followed up old customers, improved his service, asked satisfied clients for referrals, trained his staff, developed new skills, and prayed while he worked. Then something changed. Former customers began recommending him. Small jobs became larger contracts. His reputation grew. Not overnight, but consistently. Habit number 3, work diligently. Prayer is powerful, but don't ask God for a harvest while refusing to plant. Pray, plan, learn, work. Take the right steps of faith. Samuel lifted his fourth finger. The fourth habit is generosity. Daniel frowned. "Generosity? I'm trying to rebuild my finances." Samuel laughed. "That's why generosity must become a habit, not something you only practice when you're rich." Proverbs 11:25 says, A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. Samuel wasn't teaching Daniel to give irresponsibly. He was teaching him not to allow money to become his master. Daniel began intentionally setting aside part of his income to help others. He supported a struggling family, helped one of his employees through an emergency, contributed to work that reflected his faith. Something changed inside him. Money stopped being only about what Daniel could accumulate. It became a tool for serving people. And strangely, his relationships became stronger too. Employees trusted him. Customers respected him. People wanted to work with him. Habit number 4, live generously. Wealth becomes more meaningful when your increase becomes someone else's blessing. Then Samuel lifted his 5th finger. The final habit is patience. Daniel sighed. I was hoping number 5 would be something faster, Samuel laughed. That's exactly why you need it. Proverbs 13:11 teaches that wealth gathered little by little grows. Samuel took Daniel outside and pointed towards a huge oak tree. How long would you say that tree has been growing? Maybe 70 years. And how long would it take me to grow another one? Daniel smiled. I understand. Samuel nodded. People destroy tomorrow because they want everything today. That became Daniel's 5th transformation. He stopped looking for shortcuts. He stopped comparing his progress with other people. He reinvested wisely, saved consistently, avoided unnecessary debt, and allowed time to work with his good decisions. Years passed. Daniel's company recovered. Then it grew. But this time, Daniel was different. His lifestyle didn't explode every time his income increased. He invested, he saved, he gave, he continued learning. He built systems that didn't depend entirely upon him. Eventually, Daniel owned a stronger company than the one he had almost lost. But something mattered even more. He had peace. Years later, Daniel returned to the Cotswolds. Samuel was older now. They sat outside watching the sunset. Daniel smiled. Do you remember those 5 fingers? Samuel raised his hand. I haven't lost them yet. They laughed. Then Daniel said, You didn't teach me how to get rich. Samuel looked at him. No, you taught me how to become someone capable of handling wealth. Samuel smiled. Now you've discovered the prosperity code. So what are the 5 habits? Number 1, seek wisdom before wealth. Number 2, faithfully manage what you already have. Number 3, work diligently and take actions of faith. Number 4, live generously and allow your increase to bless others. And number 5, build patiently for the long term. Wisdom, stewardship, diligence, generosity, patience. These habits may not promise overnight riches, but they can help you build something far more valuable, a financial life grounded in biblical wisdom. So, ask yourself today, which of these 5 habits is missing from my life? Maybe you don't need another financial miracle first. Maybe you need another financial habit. May God give you wisdom to recognize opportunities, discipline to manage what He places in your hands, strength to work diligently, a generous heart to bless others, and patience to build something that lasts. Don't simply build wealth for today. Build wisely enough that your faithfulness can bless generations after you. If this story encouraged you, share it with someone who wants to build wealth God's way. And remember, true prosperity isn't simply having more. It's having the wisdom and character to handle more well. Until next time, seek wisdom, stay faithful, work diligently, give generously, build patiently, and let your prosperity become a blessing.